Hey, what is up YouTube? This is Stellar Toad, and today I have some homemade nunchucks right here. Go under the leg, under the other leg. I grabbed it the wrong place. These are homemade. String is a bit long. They're a bit splintery. They're a bit cracking. I made them yesterday. They're kind of cracking where that thing is. Overall, they're okay. These are pretty much historically accurate because they were a farming tool. They were used to do some sort of type of thing with wheat by going like this to take the heads off, I think, the heads of the wheat. Maybe it was for thrashing the wheat, I'm not entirely sure. They had something to do with farming, and I know they were used this way on some sort of crop, okay? And these are historically accurate because a farmer's not really going to care how long the string is. So they'll probably make it kind of longer so they get a bit more reach so they don't have to bend down so far. Another thing is it's made out of a tree that I chopped down, and it's not treated wood. So this is just simple juniper. This is just some juniper tree. And they're pretty light. It's like, these aren't super high quality, they're not super low quality, they're just okay. So these are historically accurate nunchucks. And I watched a video from Shadiversity saying that nunchucks aren't an effective weapon, and he's kind of right for the way he was using them, because the hit that he was, the strike that he was using with these nunchucks to demonstrate that that they're not rigid, that so they, like, if you hit something, they're gonna just go like this and not apply very much force to it. So he was saying it would be better to just have a normal stick so you could get more force, have more rigidity. Now the reason that's not correct is because of kinetic energy transferring into being just force going into something. It translates into just pure strength. And so the reason that a staff can't move quite as fast as this is because look at my hand compared to the end of this. You'll notice that the end of this stick is moving far faster than my hand. I'm being able to leverage energy, okay? Like with a staff, I would have to hit super fast to get the same amount of force as I could just going like that without moving my hand much, okay? So why nunchucks are actually an effective weapon is because you can move less to get an equal or greater amount of force than you can with just a normal Joe staff. So like, this staff is a bit longer, but see how fast the end of this nunchucks move? Oh, fuck. They're a bit dangerous. They are dangerous. Now, if I compare that to the same maneuver with a staff, I'm not putting nearly as much force in, like, even if I... And another thing is that you really have to focus on hand placement so you don't fuck your wrist up if you're hitting this way. With the nunchucks, the end allows you to move your wrist however you want without messing your wrist up. And so that's why nunchucks are an effective weapon. Another thing is that they're not just for swinging around like Bruce Lee. Another thing you can do with nunchucks is, there was some some book about ninjutsu, and I know that holds no validity, especially with like He-Man stuff. This is not a He-Man channel, by the way. This is not a historical European martial arts channel. This is a spiritual YouTube channel. I started out by making knife throwing videos. Another thing that you can do with nunchucks is if you can sneak up behind someone and wrap it around their neck and twist it, you can choke them with nunchucks. That's another use for nunchucks. So it's not, or I guess, yeah, if you have them like this, you can get more leverage by going like that. That's another use for nunchucks, is to choke people out. You can't really do that with a staff. Well, you can do it with you could do it with a staff, but you'd have to kind of hold their neck up to your chest like that, and they might be able to turn their neck and call for help. Another thing about nunchucks is something you can't do with a staff is if you're going up a brick wall to invade a castle or something like that. Something that you can do is you can wedge the end of these things into cracks in the brick or places where they'll go, and you can climb with them. You can go like that, and I have climbed rocks with nunchucks before, and it works great. Not these nunchucks. I actually climbed rocks with the first nunchucks I learned how to use, which were these nunchucks, and they work pretty good, even though they're smooth and the end's a bit bigger. They're bigger on the end than up here, so they're not flat like these homemade ones. And these are even better because they're heavier and they have a chain, so they feel much better to use than my homemade ones. My homemade ones are like how a farmer would have their nunchucks back in Edo period Japan. So yeah, this video holds no significance to my channel. It holds no continuity to my channel. But I felt like making this video simply because Shadowversity said that nunchucks aren't a good weapon, but they can be a good weapon. Like if you're hitting this way, like as if it were a staff, then they're not going to be a good weapon because you're not getting the maximum leverage from the string. But if you hit it like that, then you're getting a lot more speed. Speed transfers into force, and you might be able to knock someone out with them. And you can actually hit, like, because they're not rigid, you can hit, and they'll bounce off, and you can swing back around and hit again, they'll bounce off, and you can go kind of like a death by a million cuts sort of thing. Metaphorically, you can hit them a lot of times very quickly with nunchucks and have a decent amount of force. Probably not as much force as you could generate with a staff if you know how to use a staff, because like I have this metal staff here. With a staff, you can go like that, and you can hold both ends of it, and you can really knock someone out. But nunchucks, you can have one-handed and have something in your other hand, and you can leverage them with less arm motion. Just go like that, and that you can knock someone out, especially if you have properly weighted nunchucks. So, yeah, this is Stellar Toad. Leave a like, subscribe, and comment. Goodbye.